We've all heard of breakup sex. You ever had breakthrough sex? Huh? You know what I mean? You ever get down to a nice conclusion, solve a nice problem?
He's managing the breakup. What a loser.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't try to manage the breakup.
Control freak.
Yikes. And Edward was a little Ed weird. He was a little Ed dead in the head.
And the mom is like, even if you do have a job, that bitch is ugly. She's got a limp.
Let's save it for the Patreon.
Fuck! Everybody, welcome to Overshadowed Podcast, the only podcast that covers the siblings of famous people throughout history. We are back yet again at the stand to bring you a hot new episode on Albert Einstein's wife. Not the wife you're thinking about, not the cousin. He married somebody who wasn't related to him.
We all know who you're thinking about.
Yeah, we all know two things about Albert Einstein. A genius, but a cousin lover.
E equals married my cousin.
Yeah. The two is how slow the kids are going to be. Multiplied by 2.
Divide their intelligence by 2.
But we are talking about Albert Einstein's first wife, Mileva Maric. Maric, as we will...
She looks like the guy in No Country for Old Men.
That's a little insulting, but I see where you get that.
You know what I mean?
She's
kind of hot.
She's kind of hot. I could see this. And a big reason why we're going to talk about the first wife is we believe that she is a huge contributor of his success and was also a genius scientist. But a lot of the articles we looked up kind of did the same thing that they did to Cleopatra, where they were like, she was smart, but she was ugly. I'd bag it. There was a lot of stuff where they brought her down, where they were like, she was just some ugly housewife with a limp who brought Albert down.
Yeah.
Like,
she was depressed. She was jealous of not only him, but physics. She wanted to be physics.
She was like this Gollumous creature that they talk about. She was bent over with the limp and had 2 kids that...
Yeah, she walked on all 4. She crawled on the ceiling, turned her neck all the way around.
Yeah.
Albert! Albert!
Where are my theories?
Yeah.
Let me read the theories.
Yeah, she ate his equations.
Yeah.
That's how she fed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they want you to think. But here on Overshadowed, we're going to bring her into the light, baby.
As a pivotal person in Alvin's? I really want to say Alvin every time I read about him.
We're probably going to need to redo this intro.
Yeah.
This is the first spouse we've actually ever covered. So we're going to start integrating spouses. We did do Cleopatra's spouse, but that was also her brother. So kind of a twofer.
A
little twofer.
Go back and check the archives.
Yep. Check that pod. How about you go bookmark right here? Go check out that pod. Come back. Have a laugh. We're going to be talking about the wife of Albert Einstein, Mileva Maric-Einstein. Everybody knows Einstein. He's synonymous with genius. He's a scientist who really struggled at first in getting work, getting respect, getting published. And then when he finally did get published, it took a while for someone to pick one of his publications up out of the dirt because he had no name. And behind him, supporting him, collaborating with him, listening to him, speaking with him about theorems and just discussing theoretical physics with him was his wife, Mileva, who he met at the University of Zurich when they went to college. So today's story is going to be about Mileva Maric, who really gave up a lot of her dreams and aspirations personally as a physicist to just support Albert. She really saw them as one entity. It's a nice thought that really backfired on her because he ends up cheating on her, divorces her, gets married with his first cousin. It's pretty wild and it's a pretty sad tale, and Albert really fucks her over. So if any of you Einstein heads out there, you might get a little frosty at this.
And trust me, we while doing research, a lot of people are taking Einstein's back over Mileva's back, and we're going to support Mileva.
We're Team Mileva.
We're Team Mileva. We might be the only 2 people on her team.
I don't think that's true.
I know there are. A lot of people recognize that she's finally getting some credit.
At this point, though, we're at the point in the dialogue about Mileva and Einstein, looking into this, that first people, just Einstein, no mention of Mileva. Then letters came out from the family, and then people really went on Mileva's side and started kind of like Catherine Wright, almost over-crediting her with stuff. And so now we're in the kind of backlash against that. And it's just a big back and forth of nonsense in the scientific community. But the point is, whether she was equal in her contribution as Albert or someone who checked the math and just was a sounding board for him, she still gave up her dreams and her life to support this guy who ended up turning on her and marrying his cousin, who was honestly uglier.
Much uglier.
Less and smart, not a physicist.
Well, I mean, why would you? I think it just goes to the thing about men needing something new.
Yeah, I guess.
The
something
only
old.
thing that the cousin had on her
Kid came out blue. Yikes.
Yeah, besides blood is she didn't limp.
She didn't
Mileva
limp.
had a limp and a
Mileva, you said something to me on the phone. You're like, she looks like the middle of the evolutionary
she's
chart.
Like an evolutionary. She
She's
looks like
3 back from man.
yeah, woman.
Right, but kind of hot though.
Kind of hot, yeah.
She has kind of an exotic look. She's from Serbia. She was born in Titel, which, I mean, I'm titillated. She was born in 1875 to parents Marija Rusic and Milos Marić, a wealthy and respected member of his community. She had 2 siblings, Zorka and Milos Jr. Mileva.
Zorka's a great name.
Zorka's pretty cool. Zorka sounds like kind of a space princess in a Disney movie.
Ooh, that's nice, yeah.
Get Zorka!
Get Zorka! Guys, help!
There's a bear attacking the city!
I pictured her being taken by like a Bowser.
Yeah.
Like a peach.
I meant a big gay man. I meant a huge, hairy, barrel-chested man
That's
knocking
when we know,
down
that's
buildings.
when we're going to be equal, when gay people are the villains in movies.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When gay people become the equivalent of Albanian terrorists, anyone can use them. Anyone can shoot 'em.
Everybody down now!
I think that we're a long ways away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's to hoping. Mileva was brilliant. She's very smart, but she's not very talkative.
No, to me she seemed like just a classic genius. Very quiet, but very
I
smart.
don't know if she's a genius, but she didn't ever really get the chance to, kind of like Nanurl. We never really got to see like Super Saiyan Mileva.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I think she might have been a genius. She spent a lot of time. She was like the star pupil of every class.
Yeah, she did well
I think
in
even in
school.
grade school, the teachers were like, whoa,
Yeah.
that this girl.
She was smart. She did better than Albert, equal to or better than him. She got like a 5 on the applied physics exam. He got a 1, which is, I think, bad. She was very good in school, but then she kept failing the oral exams.
Yeah, which sucks that it's strange to me that they just failed her entirely because of the oral exam. If she's acing all the other things, just give her the degree. They really didn't want women to be doing anything back then, did they?
Did they?
Did they?
Did they now, huh?
What I'm coming to believe and learn about the past.
Charles just keeping that ball rolling.
Women didn't really have rights back then.
That's true. Her dad had to fight for him in Serbia, which, by the way, I did very background cursory research on Serbia. Used to be a part of the Ottoman Empire.
Okay.
And I don't believe Ottomans are very kind to women. But you told me that Serbia is kind of its own thing.
Serbia was
aside from Europe.
In the 1800s and up until the 1920s, women in Serbia were not allowed to go to school. And Serbia was one of the only countries, I think, still doing this. A lot of the neighboring countries were like, Serbia, why won't you just educate your women? And there's a quote that says, the girls will never be in business. They will never get any jobs in the civil service. Why then do they need an education? They're just like, they're trying to just, hey, we only got a limited amount of books, guys. And,
baking involves math.
A lot of things involve math. Yeah. You need to be, you can't just have your dumb, drooling wife guessing how to bake a pie. She's going to blow the house up.
They're going to come out bad.
Your food's going to taste like shit. You're going to hit your kids.
Right.
They at least need to go to measuring school.
It's going to be a huge snowball effect.
Yeah, come on.
She won't know what that means.
You ever read The Butterfly Effect?
She's got butterflies landing on her nose. She's just looking at them cross-eyed. Her eyes stay like that for the rest of the day. Give her a book, dude.
Yeah, she needs something. She could be a genius, this kid.
So her dad made some calls. I guess he was pretty influential. He called up the teacher and was like, look, man,
this is my daughter.
I'll cut my daughter's hair short, and she kind of looks like a guy anyway. Just let her in.
She's in class the first day. Let's get down to business. Just pulls him along.
Yeah. Climbs the flagpole in the quad. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Why did she do that? And where did she get that lizard?
Why is Mileva being all weird?
Mileva. This Mileva's guy got a sweet rack.
Yeah, the dad in 1892 got authorization from the Minister of Education of Serbia to allow her to just go to physics lectures. Not even handling equipment, microscopes, getting her lady fingers on stuff.
Hear what boys get to hear.
Yeah, that's
You want to hear a little bit of wisdom, girl?
Yeah.
Your dad better be in a powerful place.
He better be a player in Serbia.
Is that if that girl's
Thermodynamics? Only thing you need to worry about is hot flashes, baby.
Yeah.
How about you get out of here? You bleed once a month. How's that for entropy? Get out of my class.
What do they know about their own bodies back then? They had to just be like, it's a mess.
What do you mean?
If they were so uneducated, like, how about did women also know nothing about their own bodies?
I don't think they were that uneducated. Even if you're not allowed to go to school, you still learn from older people. It's more of like an oral tradition, which apparently didn't get passed down to Mileva. Mileva?
What do you mean? Why?
Well, I guess she kept failing the exam. But here's the thing. Albert met, I don't know why. Her name is really difficult.
She's got to say it a couple of times.
Mileva. I want to say Minerva, Mileva.
I know, where's Minerva coming from?
Well, Minerva's like an Indian god or something. I don't want to go on that tangent, but it's gonna take forever. Don't get me started on Minerva because I won't stop.
God knowledge.
I won't stop.
Okay, so
Hold on, wait. I had one thing. Sorry, unless you had something. You got
ahead.
something?
No, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that they met in Zurich, Switzerland, in school.
Hold on.
1896.
They met at the Polytechnic Institute in Zurich.
They were both brilliant, but Einstein was a genius, mind always wandering. He didn't like the rigor of the German school system, so he went off to learn in Switzerland.
That was nice.
Thank you.
I wonder if
I'm going to be in the
hot.
comedy jam band or
Yeah,
whatever.
nice. So they meet in college at the in 1896.
Oh, they got it.
Oh, really?
The info's all there.
I don't know, dude.
Hey, you want to capture that info? Rewind. Do yourself the pleasure of rewinding and listening to that again. And if you didn't get the information, listen one more
If you didn't
time.
like our voices, leave a mean review.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. A lot of potential, but they need to go to voice acting classes.
Yeah, we saw your review.
Yeah, Rochelle.
We had our first negative real review from somebody, and
Yeah, one was just a troll.
why don't you calm down?
Yeah.
How about you calm down?
Because we're calm
We're calm. We're
right
cool,
now.
we're
We don't
funny.
care.
This isn't historians doing a podcast. This is comedy. Okay? This is comedy.
Charles, I don't know if you know this. We are entering into the hallowed halls of historians. We're becoming historians.
We are becoming historians.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's the natural progression of how my life was going to go anyway. So
Yeah.
I knew no matter what.
Just looking back
before
and
I
going,
died,
why?
Yeah.
Why?
I used to be on stage talking about my dick, and now I'm sitting down doing it into a microphone while talking about Caesar.
Yeah.
I'm Charles Engel. Welcome to my masterclass. Did you know
Dicks featuring history. That could be the alternate.
dick jokes in time?
Dick jokes in time.
This is what I wanted to tell you about. Is okay?
What
so
do you
the
want to tell
first
me
time-
about?
By the time they get to college, Albert and Mileva go to college in Switzerland. There's like 5 kids allowed into this class.
Yeah.
Albert
It's like a Dead
Mileva.
Poet Society. Everyone's standing up,
Yeah.
shooting shit.
putting shit in their beakers.
Yeah.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Uh-huh.
And then they're in, there's 5 people in this class. Apparently, Albert and Mileva were smitten at first sight. But I feel like she's the only girl in the class. Everybody's gunning for her.
Yeah.
And then maybe she picked him because
Gunning.
everybody's got to be like, trying to sit. They probably just sit in a circle around here all day and then just see what she. I mean,
Yeah, she's the goose perpetually in their circle of ducks.
so
She's always it. I don't want to be it.
you're goose.
Yeah, I mean, I majored in computer science in school, so I had a lot of those classes where there's a few girls, but you're not really looking at them, and then there's like one like hot girl for some reason. You're like, what are you? Who are you? Why are you doing this? And so yeah, she was popular. Like I get being in the science class and
You were one of the other students.
focusing. Yeah, I felt the gravitation. She warped space time around my arousal, and I was just pushed towards her.
Did you ever talk to her?
Yeah, she was fine. She was normal. She was like hot for computer science. Once you left the classroom, you're like, ugh. All right.
What was I thinking? Looking at a screen all day. She's looking hot. Of course she's going to look hot when I'm looking at code all day. I want to view the source on what she really looks like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've left click before.
I want to control.
That's
I've
right.
accidentally found myself looking at the innards of the website I'm on. It's horrifying.
I like to cut open Google's
What are all
belly
these
and see
colors
what's
and
on
brackets?
the inside. Yeah.
It's scary. You're like, am I hacking?
Google, I'm feeling lucky.
Is this hacking?
Let's see what you're made of.
Yeah.
Or am I fracking?
Am
Is
I-
this fracking? That's a classic punchline in people's jokes. Is this what fracking is? You hear it in a lot of fingering
fracking's
jokes.
a funny word.
So they
Yeah,
meet-
but he liked her right off the bat.
he
and
liked
they,
her right off the bat.
I think they ended up, having some study sessions.
Well, they went on hikes. They
Hikes?
sang.
That's cool.
They solved problems. They started
They
solving.
solve problems.
They started getting together and doing physics problems at night in college, which I
That's
gotta
hot.
imagine leads to some pretty cool sex.
Oh,
some
yeah.
college we've all heard of breakup sex. You ever had breakthrough sex? Huh? You know what I mean? You ever get down to a nice conclusion, solve a nice
You're-
problem, write a good theory, and then just get.
You want to test this out?
Yeah.
Over there?
Let's use the scientific method on your pussy. First, we gotta. Sorry, I said pussy. By the way, I know we're in hot water.
We're a little too crass for some of our new TikTok fans. Our viewership went from like 60% guys, maybe 55, to like 75% women.
So funny.
Yeah, and we're here for it.
We're here for it.
We're
but,
here for it.
Get used to us.
Yeah,
You came to our house.
that's right.
And you told us what not to talk
And the
about.
door's locked.
Yeah. And we're talking about our
Don't think you
dick.
can escape. It's dick time
It's dick time.
and pussy. Yeah, so they met in Zurich. Einstein wasn't a very good student. He was always taking walks and wandering and skipping class, and everyone thought he was kind of a slacker. But he just hated, he was like, this is basic stuff. I can read about this in my textbook. I don't need to come here and listen to you explain it to me. I just want to, think. He sat and he thought
was a visual learner, yeah.
So she helped keep him organized. It was similar to Constanzi in the Mozart. If you listen to the Patreon episode about Wolfgang, Constanzi really helped structure that kid. These guys, they're so smart. They have their head in the clouds. They're just thinking and they're using their brain, which renders the rest of them kind of useless. So she's organizing, taking notes for him. This is Mileva talking with him, checking his math. She was a great mathematician. Einstein would be at parties and be like, where's my wife? I need her to do my math problems.
Yeah.
I can't do math.
Yeah.
I suck at
I'm
math.
Einstein, but I can't do math.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't Einstein yet. His name was Einstein, but he wasn't shit. He wasn't scheisse. Also, it's apparently pronounced Einstein.
What would you rather prefer?
I like Einstein.
I like Einstein, too. It sounds like a beer.
So he was pursuing Mileva, but he wouldn't marry her, according to his dad, I think, until he had a job.
Well, yeah, when they graduated college, they both really don't do anything for money besides giving private lessons. Yeah, they sell their bodies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pictures of Einstein. The one of his head with his tongue out. That's the full one is him fucking naked with his dick out.
That's the before.
Yeah.
That's the before.
No, that's the PG
That was his headshot that he would send to potential clients.
Yeah.
You want some of this?
Only $7 a month. Check my website.
Yeah.
I like when girls on TikTok.
How much you pay me is relative to how much you come.
Yes, I have one. You ever seen that on an Instagram or a girl's TikTok where it's their profile is hot pictures and in their bio they go, yes, I have one, because you're supposedly looking at the pictures being like, wonder if she has an OnlyFans.
Oh.
And so their answer is,
they're preempting you.
I do have one.
Yeah, you want to jerk off to me? Well, the link's right here.
Link's right here, buddy. Why don't you get your carpet sticky for $8 a month?
Why are you jizzing on your carpet?
I don't have.
Sorry, guys. We're talking jizz.
Sorry.
It's a part of our lives.
One more strike and we cancel the pod.
That's right. We shut off the recording. We redo it. Better this time.
So
less jizz.
Less jizz. More fun.
More fun.
New and improved Overshadowed. Now with less cum.
90% less cum. Not none, but less.
You can still taste some of the cum.
Yeah.
But it's just,
It's like a dirty martini. They sprinkle the glass in olive.
Yeah, there you go. Just
or
a
vermouth
hint.
or whatever. A hint of lime. Yeah. Unfortunately,
that'd be a funny saying. Gave her a hint of lime.
Gave her a hint of lime. Yeah. Haven't been eating pretty poorly.
Yeah.
A lot of Thai.
It is terrible to be. Anyway, we can't get.
Yeah, we can't look. We're getting
divulge.
Yeah, I don't want to divulge.
That's fine. The paywall.
Yeah.
So they're given lessons. They're also working on theories together. They graduate school. They can't get jobs. They start giving private lessons and working at night. And they're still in love. Albert wants to continue his relationship with Mileva, but he himself is like, look, I'm not going to marry somebody while I'm unemployed. And the family is writing to Albert, the dad being like, yeah, for sure, you don't marry if you're unemployed.
For sure.
And the mom is like, even if you do have a job, that bitch is ugly. She's got a limp.
Not
She's
a
too
Jew.
Smart. She's not a Jew. I mean, does she has hooves? We can't do anything with hooves. Is that what the limp is? Is she kosher or not, baby?
She part goat?
Yeah. If you had sex with her, you can't.
Is it a goat top or a goat bottom? I honestly can't tell.
Come on, son.
She's gross.
So the family's against Mileva.
She's like, by the time you're 30, she'll be an old hag, a.k.a. 34.
She's 4 years older. I mean, this.
That's not how age works.
I don't know. That's almost dead in my book. The mom was doing everything to get Albert to get away from Mileva, and I think it's because that Albert, when he was younger, in high school, he dated this girl with, I forgot the girl's name, and they were a good family to be in a relationship with. And then Albert's sister married that family's son.
Oh.
So she was trying to lock in a whole unit.
Right.
And the mom would write letters to
Mileva's a little squeaky Serbian wheel.
Yeah, for real. Makes the cart not move.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants
going in a circle with her.
Yeah, you can't win a sweepstakes in a grocery store with a squeaky cart.
No.
You gotta be able to run down those aisles.
Yeah. You gotta grease that wheel and swap it out.
So she would write to that family's daughter and be like, Mileva has caused me the most agony of my entire life.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this to all be over. He's making a huge mistake.
All to be over. What is she plotting? She has a hitman waiting in the wings?
Trying to poison her water.
Yeah.
Hold on. I was going to say Albert,
yeah.
He didn't care. He wrote all these things to Mileva, quoting the mother, my mom thinks you're an old fat bitch, but I don't care. Fuck her. He was writing, to make fun of the mom.
Negging her?
I guess.
He's kind of negging her. He's
yeah.
My mom thinks you're gross, but I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck doing better than me. You know,
She never did.
We don't know that. She could have fucked around. I want to cover why she was like so supportive of him, because it was kind of by necessity. Like, she loved him. Mileva loved Albert and everything. He got a job as a patent clerk, and he was just analyzing these patents and be like, is this an original thought? Should this be patented? But he got through with that pretty quickly and easily. So then he had all this spare time to like think and come up with all these ideas and theories about how the world worked. But in the lead up to that, Mileva was super supportive of him, would stay up late at night with him, just discussing and stuff. And they wrote to each other with kind of evidence that supports the fact that she did contribute to his work. This is her words. How happy and proud I will be when the two of us together will have brought our work on relative motion to a victorious conclusion. Mm-hmm. Similar to Nannerl, it seems like these women have to like bend to the sexism of the times and just be happy that their work can be seen at all. It's so funny, though, that even the way that these articles are written, any evidence that speaks to Mileva's contributions in Einstein's theorems are presented in a way that's like preemptively defensive, as if they're aware the readers are thinking to themselves, no way, he's Einstein. No way, she's just a wife. Yeah. No way. You know, like Bill Burr's bit about like the first lady chiming in. That's kind of what people... They're like, no, it was Einstein. There's like a defensiveness that the authors are preempting. Like, listen to this little quote from Scientific American, this article. Mileva's brother, Milos Jr., a person known for his integrity, stayed on several occasions with the Einstein family while studying medicine in Paris. He described how, you know, an evening and at night, they would sit together and under the light of a kerosene lantern, write together on physics problems, and how they calculated, wrote, debated. It was great. It was a great partnership intellectually. I don't know how the sex was. Like, I don't know how the romantic marriage was. It seemed like they loved each other, but it also seemed like Einstein loved being able to work with her.
Yeah, well, it seemed like they worked together.
That was the
well.
priority of the love.
I feel like he was always looking for different sex.
That was, he's not a monogamous guy.
No, he was cheating.
Yeah.
He's cheating probably before the cousin.
He's a cheater.
He's worked his way up to ask his family to fuck.
Right.
He said he's been in that boat.
Yeah, he
before.
later leaves, we'll get into this, but he later leaves Mileva to marry his cousin, who he like struck up a love with when he visited Germany, which I don't understand that, but...
It must have been like a thing, like he always thought she was hot as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, so Einstein also had written her letters of like, I'll be so happy when our work is presented, our work is complete. They kept referring to it in the Nosotros, our work. And I don't know, it's kind of, just from like just zooming out and just thinking of these two people as in a relationship, it is kind of cute to be like, we're doing it, our project, our baby, our little dog baby.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's cute to be like, we're a team. Because
she never would have imagined that they would. I feel like Mileva never would have even seen
fathomed being.
Without. I think it was we're a team forever. There's no chance.
Oh, you're saying she wouldn't have foreseen divorce?
Yeah. Like, I'm a kid. My parents got divorced, and that's always be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
if I'm publishing something with my wife, I'm gonna be like, let me get my name on that.
Yeah, she never wanted to be on it.
The first thing they published was, I think in 1900, was like their first paper on capillaryism or whatever the
something
word
about
is.
the surface tension of water.
Yes.
I think it's how in an IV, like water when it still rises up, just because it has some weird tension that pushes it up. Something that we don't understand. We're not physicists, certainly. We're hardly historians, and we're definitely not physicists.
We're definitely not. Hold on one second. It is December 13th, 1900. They submitted their first article on capillarity, signed only under Albert's name. Nevertheless, both refer to this articles in letters to each other as their common articles.
Right.
Like the one where they wrote back and they were like, our letter has been sent to my uncle, and I'm so happy to see our work get some publication. Couple of theories on this. Mileva, back to your thing, is that she thought it was cute to be a couple. Just put Albert's name out there because it's us. 2, he was unemployed and he needs to start making a name for himself, and so he can marry her to progress the family. That's the next step for her. Is they need to get both of these things to happen. First thing is marriage for her. They need to be locked in as a family. And thirdly, and also probably most importantly for the people of the times, was ideas from women were not believed. They didn't. So if her name was on the paper and people were reading it, they'd be like, wait, fake news. Women have babies, not ideas.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like.
Yeah, if she came out and was like, look, I was involved with special relativity, which is the E equals MC squared. You know E equals MC squared? I put the little 2 up there.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, that was me. If you
I did
zoom
that.
in
He
enough,
said it should be a 3.
Yeah. you believe
I
this,
said
bitch?
nope, or a big 2. I said no, little 2.
Little 2,
That's-
raise it up. Like capillarity.
Everyone's like, no way women know about little 2s.
Yeah, come on.
They don't know about little 2s.
They don't even know what 1 is. Women don't even poop. How do I expect them to think? That's why I like to think that rumor got started.
I think we all know what C stands for in this case, because you're being one. It is weird. If you look at the E equals MC squared equation, it's the first letters of both of their last names,
Yeah.
Einstein and Marić.
And first name for her.
C squared, what does that refer to? Criticism? No. Cuckold?
Company, censor.
Censorship
Corrupt?
isn't bad. Corrupt. Einstein equals Mileva times corruption squared. Mileva times cock. He does have a cock. I don't know. Send it in. Send in your own
Send in whatever C
contributions
is, huh?
for whatever C could be.
We'll tell you on
and
the
Einstein
Patreon.
equals Mileva times C squared. Oh yeah, so no, I think that's a great point that this was like a business. This is like the equivalent of people like my ex's parents did this. They pooled their money together and one of them went to college.
Wow.
So they got married when they were young and then only he could go to college. So he has this big finance business job and then they ended up getting divorced.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, and so he pays and stuff, but yeah, I'm like self-conscious, but she's never going to listen to this.
No.
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 And it's very vague.
And
I'm
it's
being
also
very vague.
nobody's going to know.
I know, but she would be upset about it probably.
We'll leave this in. Be aware, dude. Let her know that she'd be upset.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
It's a good way for her to come back in your life.
I hate this. Anyway, that's kind of the equivalent of that. Like, she put all her eggs in Albert's basket, letting him publish papers that didn't have her name on it because everyone would be like, what the fuck?
Albert, nice joke, dude. Saw you put a lady's name at the bottom of your paper. You didn't think anybody would notice? I saw it, man.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Would you put your wife's name? Could you believe if a woman could have a thought?
Would you serve up this paper with some freshly baked cookies? Fucking bitch. Why don't you wear an apron next time?
Hey, what's your wife's name on there, huh? People
Yeah.
are at the bar. Hey, Albie.
Yeah.
You're working with a lady, huh?
I see who wears the theories in this family.
Yeah.
It's your lady.
Hey, are you a thinker or the catcher?
Where were we? We were talking
Okay, so
about.
we're at the...
I'm gonna
Yeah,
close
let's
the computer. Close the computer.
That needs to be a point in the app.
It does. Time to close the computer and really get into it.
Okay, let's get to... I'll lead you into... There's a letter referencing relative motion.
Yeah. Yeah, Einstein
is
had
the
been working on special relativity for years when he published the paper in 1905, which, by the way, special relativity, I think is E equals MC squared.
Mm-hmm.
He envisioned like this guy is like crazy, smart. I don't know if you guys know Einstein. Very smart
This guy
man.
was a thinker.
Very smart man. He would be like, if I'm on a bus going the speed of light and I look backwards at a clock, will the clock face be moving? And he determined no, that it wouldn't. So an object in constant motion, like that that time and space are relative, I think. Or no, that energy equals matter times a huge amount of speed.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
It was something about
I'm not
how
really sure,
gravity...
but I know that he
Yeah.
worked on it for a long, long
Yeah.
time and finally published it in 1905 in this miracle year that he had, because he was this patent clerk and he has like a normal day job. It actually kind of ended up good for Einstein that he couldn't be like a university professor assistant, because then he'd have to just be at his beck and call doing all of these little shit.
I don't think he
things
would have. I think
that
he would have just kept getting fired.
No, but if he ever got a job,
Oh,
it's like a
okay.
mentally demanding job to do that versus a patent clerk. He breezed through that, and then he, pictured buses moving at the speed of
Yeah.
light, looking at a clock tower. That was, what he got to spend his spare time on.
I wonder if he was coming home to his wife like, is this a theory? Like,
Yeah.
go,
You think this is science? Is this science?
does this work?
Yeah.
Does this have legs?
Yeah.
Can I run something by you? So you know how I was thinking about the relative speed of light.
Would you peer review this if I sent this to you?
I think one day this one could get published. I don't know.
Would a room full of mustachioed men clap politely if I brought this up in an auditorium? What do you think?
Babe? Babe? You sleep?
Oh, there was another thing that they did together that was in 1908 that was like a voltmeter that they constructed with Conrad Habich. And
I think it was pronounced, hey, bitch. I think
you're
that
probably
was it.
right.
I think that was
With Conrad Habich, and wrote, when they were both satisfied, they left Albert to the task of describing the apparatus since he was the patent expert. When Mileva was like, hey, bitch, he's like, what's up, bitch? When Mileva questioned the choice not to include her name, when Habich questioned Mileva, she replied saying, why? The two of us are but one stone, meaning we're but one entity. So she's like, yeah, me, him, we're the same. It's going to be all sweet.
It's all going to be
It's
fine
all going to be
in
good.
the end.
And then she starts getting worried when he gets a claim, which we'll talk about later. This is just a quote I want to throw out there. I only hope and wish that fame does not have a harmful effect on his humanity. Later, she added, with all this fame, he has little time for his wife. What is there to say? With notoriety, one gets the pearl, the other the shell. So
Sad.
she was really resigned to like her abandoning her dreams just to support her husband, who later
I know she already
turned
had
on
that.
her.
I mean, that's just feeding yourself. That's not true. One gets the oyster.
It's not true. No, she's kind of. People characterized Mileva as kind of brooding and what's the word?
One of the emotional astrological signs.
No.
Lament, brooding.
No, I'm saying like inclined to despair.
That would be a reason to leave her.
I mean, yeah, if you're a sourpuss all the time.
If you're with the sourpuss,
you don't want
all
a
the time,
sourpuss.
You don't want a sourpuss as you're becoming the biggest name in science.
Yeah,
I
mean,
mean,
you're like a fun guy. You're wearing straw hats.
Yeah,
you don't comb your
tongue's
hair.
out. You're walking around just.
You don't wear
thinking,
socks.
Your head's in the clouds all
Yeah.
day, and then you come home and she's like, "It's raining."
And she's like, "How was physics? I love physics."
Yeah, and
That
you're
was
like,
the one
"Ugh,
thing. You're like, yeah, it's fine.
I guess it's good. I'm the best.
You want to
at
hang
it."
out?
Yeah.
Physics.
Let me know about physics. Have you thought of anything new?
Yeah.
Anything for me to check?
I think she loved him. I think that he received a benefit from her.
I think he loved her in the beginning, and like what you were talking about, was a fuckboy. Fuckboys
Yeah.
do catch feelings.
Of
but
course.
fuckboys let go of feelings eventually.
Right.
That's what makes them a certified
goes up
fuckboy.
Must go down.
Must fuck down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also read a lot of letters that he would write to his previous girlfriends, and it was just the way that people wrote letters back then were much more affectionate.
Mhm.
It's like a teenager when you're in high school and you're texting your girlfriend like, "Hey babe, good morning, beautiful. I can't believe I hope you're waking up to the most perfect smile
Mhm.
in the world.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about you."
Who's smiling at her perfectly?
What?
I hope you wake up to the most perfect smile in the world.
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't dig through
The guy who
an
really
action.
loves you.
Yeah. The
next
guy who
to you
really
in your
loves
bed.
so much. Can't
You're
wait
just
to.
a cuck.
Yeah.
I hope you and Jeremy are having a great time.
Hope the
Hope his dick
vacation
is
I
so
paid for
hard.
is going well.
Did he like the underwear I bought you? People do that.
I know. It's thank God that's not a. I have a buddy like that he likes watching a girl just get destroyed.
His girl?
Yeah, I think he has a giant wang, and I think
Mm.
he likes to find other dudes with giant wangs to fucking wang. I mean,
What?
My buddy, he's got a
So
apparently.
Charizard looking for holographic Charizards?
Yeah, exactly.
To bang
yeah,
out a
yeah.
Squirtle?
I think once you're already huge, and then you're just like, yeah, anybody else. At least I'm
It's a
huge.
party in here,
I'm
dude.
huge no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm huge.
I'm huge, dude. She goes 2 inches bigger. It's not like she goes to 12. She's not gonna hate 10. But sorry. You know what they say. Someone gets
Yeah.
famous and
Of
someone
course.
gets the shell.
Of course.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think you're
One
right.
gets the pearl, one gets a foot.
So you think Mileva was head over heels forever, and then
No,
maybe
no.
not
What?
forever. I mean, in the beginning, she was
What is this, Fox News?
She was.
Some hyperbole there. So you think she
So what you're saying?
craving his peace at all times? Is that what you're saying? She waited for him, drooling until he opened the door, and she would pounce on him and eat his ass immediately. Is that what you're saying?
His
Just wanna
ass
make sure
probably
that's
had
what
some
you're
wild
saying.
hair on it too.
Yeah. If his ass looked
You
anything
ever see
like
that guy's
his,
eyebrows?
yeah. If the chimney looks like the gutter, he's got a little cushion everywhere he goes.
Yeah, definitely. It's how he's able to just.
That's
be
how he's
so
able to think
calm.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's sitting on a cloud
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sitting on a cloud, thinking in a cloud.
by the bay.
Mm-hmm. Sitting on a cloud by the bay.
At this point, Albert's working at the patent office, but still won't marry Mileva.
Really? When
I
they get
think
married?
he gets permission.
02?
They get married, I think, in 03.
03.
So
That's
he
pretty
gets the
late.
job in 01. I think the dad gives permission for him to marry now that
Yeah.
he's employed. But
Right on his deathbed, like
I
right before he
know.
died. So the dad dies thinking that Albert's working as a patent clerk, marrying this weird Serbian girl
never sees
that
his
his mom
son.
hates.
Yeah.
So the dad dies thinking Albert Einstein's a failure, in part because he's marrying this Mileva Derva.
This Mileva Derva with the
Yeah,
bad
this
foot.
Derpy Milerv.
This little one IHOP is what they call her
Yeah.
around town.
Yeah.
And so this is 1901. He gets permission. The dad dies. 1902. This is where the sex comes in. They go on a little lovers escapade in Lake Como,
they gotta
Italy.
consummate.
Probably having a lot of I don't know what maybe they're hiking.
Lake
they're
Como?
singing again.
That's a sexually active lake.
Yeah, that's not a perverted lake. That's Italian lake.
No. It's cultural. It's a cultural thing.
So
So they go to Lake Cuomo.
they
One thing
practice,
lends,
Albert
leads to another.
practices the theory of not pulling out.
Yep.
Just lets them loose.
Yeah.
And
Confirms that. Gets
relative
some
to all
solid
motion.
results.
Yeah.
Names the paper Lyserol. She was born in Hungary. People didn't even know about her until the 80s when letters were made public.
Yeah, and they just they don't know what happened to Lyserol. I think she they had a kid out of wedlock, and they hope that she was given up for adoption.
Yeah,
So-
she died of scarlet fever for sure.
Or
Every article wants to, portray Einstein's life as like, kind of a Disney ending. Like, yeah, he ended up giving Mileva the money.
Yeah.
He didn't really give her that much money. They're like, yeah, his kid got adopted. It's probably dead.
Yeah, it's probably a dead
kid.
Because he said one time about his son, when one of his sons was older, he said, had I have known this about my son's schizophrenia, I would have never let him enter this earth.
I know. He's contemplating. He's like, would I even have put him here?
Yeah.
And doctor's like, you can't think like that. He's 25.
Yeah, it's too late term. He's
Yeah.
like, but is it? Relative to time, is it late?
Yeah. yeah.
It's only been 25
I'm going
years.
to move at the speed of light out of here.
Yeah, see you later,
Yeah.
son. And yeah, he was an asshole to his sons. He just didn't. He was a real dick. He wasn't the best dad.
I think they had a kid out of wedlock, right?
That's Lyserol.
So they had to kind of dispose of the kid in one way or another, whether it was adoption, whether the kid just died, whether he did some dastardly experiment with a baby, and if you drop a baby in an elevator.
If you leave a baby on a bus and that bus drives away, looking at a clock, how long till that baby's out of your life?
20 minutes tops. You're a free man.
Express.
No stops. Baby can't pull that cord. It's too high. Can't reach the button. Doesn't even know what it does. So Lyserol's gone. And then Einstein writes another letter when he realizes that Mileva's pregnant again in 1904. He goes, I'm not the least bit angry that poor Dolly is hatching a new chick. He called her Dolly, which is, I think, like an affectionate term, like a doll. In fact, I'm happy about it and had already given some thought to whether I shouldn't see to it that you get a new Lyserol. Ooh. Dude, that's
Why
like
bring back the past?
my friend, when I was a kid, his parents had this big, black SUV, and they backed up over their Beagle.
Oh my god!
And the Beagle was named Laser, and then they got another Beagle like the next day and named it Laser 2.
No, they didn't.
They did.
The sequel?
The sequel.
Always worse.
So much better. No, they ironed out some personality traits in Laser 2.
Whew, that's
They
tough.
developed Laser 1 pretty well. They introduced some new characters.
Dang, so the dad had to go and like scoop up Laser 1 from the tire?
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, I had to get a mirror, reflect that laser out of the driveway.
Wow, that's tough.
I know.
Probably a stain that never came off the driveway.
Okay.
Jesus.
You don't want to stare directly into it. You'll go blind.
Ugh.
It's a laser.
You'll hear him bark.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good one.
Thanks.
For a dead laser dog.
Okay.
Anyway, so
They
yeah,
had a
he's
kid.
like, I can't. I had already given some thought to whether I shouldn't see to it that you get a new Lyserol.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty
just
gross.
that's
He's
like
a bad. Well, he's like pretty removed.
Yeah.
He's like, on the one hand, these physicists, they think they're like, he's like, I want to know the language of God. That's how they think. They're like, I want to distill everything into one formula. Ooh, that really gets him going.
Yeah, that really gets him.
And it's so weird because it's like he's kind of weirdly inhuman. Like he's really orbiting in like this weird realm of existence where he
Yeah.
doesn't really care that much
Yeah.
about the people around him. He kind of just cares about his ideas and proving big systems about the universe, which is cool.
Yeah.
But he is he's a little like he's like whatever. He's very like it's fine.
He gets
Just
over
move
things pretty
on.
quickly. Thanks to letters, we see how cold he can really get. When he's made up his mind, it's...
I mean, honestly though, for him, that's only going to contribute to his success. You got to be a little.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta be a little
I gotta-
detached.
Dude, we got to
Just be
leave
like
everybody we care about if we want to make it on this podcast.
Yeah, you got to
We
kick
really
really
gotta
into a
just
ravine.
Leave them all here,
Mm-hmm.
live in the studio,
Yep,
record every morning,
that's right.
and we will have a successful podcast. I mean, throughout the years, as Albert just gains his success, as he finally jumps into the roller coaster of success, it's like Mileva was dropped off right at the top.
Not strapped in.
Yeah, not strapped in.
He
And
just
then he
sends
starts
her.
to gain success.
Yeah.
And then this is when he gets scouted.
So we kind of already covered his miracle year, but just to like go over it briefly, he published 4 papers in his spare time, being a patent clerk. What is light? The photoelectric effect shows that light comes as a particle called a photon. It's not, I don't know, whatever they thought it was. It's a fucking photon. The second paper, the existence of atoms, which was crazy for the time. The third paper, E equals MC squared. Energy can become matter, vice versa. And then the fourth one, which family members say, Mileva kind of says, the special theory of relativity that they both worked on. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. That's the special theory of relativity. And we're going to get into the general theory of relativity and his quest to prove that using a solar eclipse in the Patreon. But it's important to kind of understand that it started during this miracle year. He wouldn't finally confirm the general theory of relativity until like 1919. But after he publishes this miracle year thing, he does start rising and he starts becoming a name because this guy met like 5 months. Think about how like he was very upset. Einstein was like a depressive guy. 4 to 5 months pass after he publishes all this shit, like that we now know is really good stuff. Quality, 4 quality
Still
specials.
holds up, I'd say.
Literally a Dave Chappelle Netflix deal that's just sitting. No one's watching it. He's like, 1 view, it's me.
Yeah.
I just checked to see it was uploaded.
Did you put any hashtags, babe? Did you put any hashtag life
Should
changing?
we repost it?
Hashtag story time? Was
He's
it during
getting
peak watch hours?
No likes until this one guy, Max Planck. They pronounce it Plunk, but it's spelled Planck. He's the editor of the most important physics journal in Europe. Max Planck plucks him, one of the publications, just like out of the stack of publications that everyone was looking at or something, you know, by the cafeteria.
He's taking a shit one day.
Taking a
sees
shit,
Einstein's
whatever.
face on the cover of this magazine he hasn't read yet. And
Yeah.
He's like, oh, crack into this.
No, it's not even a magazine. No one's publishing him. It's literally just like a scientific publication. You'd have to
Wow.
like go look through the publications to be like,
Wow.
oh, this is new. Give this a gander.
So this guy's just kind of a scout.
He's
Max Planck.
just going to some random Little League game. He sees a fucking
Puerto Rican kid batting 1,000.
Yeah, he sees-
bombing homers.
He sees El Ocho out there. He's
Yeah.
a 27-year-old kid with a 12-year-old birth certificate. So Planck kind of wants to recruit him. Planck wants to get him over to Germany because he's been instructed by the king, Wilhelm II of Germany, to like get this Institute of German Scientists together. And so Planck's like, get over here, Einstein. You're what we need. So it's an It's like a dream job invitation to be invited to this institution, to be a professor in Germany, to live this whole life in Berlin with the people who originally kind of rejected him and wouldn't give him a job, who wouldn't read his papers. Now he gets to be one of them, and they like really want him. So Planck comes. You're really tapping your
I'm
leg.
sorry.
It's okay. So Planck comes to Zurich to kind of like court him. And then Einstein has this whole dramatic, just like, look, I'll consider your offer. I need to go on a long walk, think about buses and light and stuff. And I'll be carrying a bunch of flowers at the train station when you guys are about to leave. If they're red, I'm coming. If they're white, I'm staying here in Zurich. Weird little
Very dramatic.
drama guy.
Especially for a guy that's not so I mean, that's
like
definitely a thing about a.
It's real main character syndrome.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no camera on you, buddy.
He's like, how long you been thinking about this, pal?
Yeah.
You have a flower plan?
I've been waiting for my flowers.
There's not a flower shop within 5 miles of this town. He's like, yes, I need to go on a very long walk.
Yeah. It's all part of the plan.
Don't worry. And then he comes back with red flowers, right?
Comes back with red flowers. So he decides that he's going to go to Berlin. So he relocates him and his wife, Mileva, to Berlin, and it proves a real strain on them. They're at this institute that's headed up by this guy Haber, who's the director of the institute that's been commissioned by the king, who also, he's like a chemist that came up with fertilizer that saved like millions of people's lives because it produced food to grow more food. He basically had to start serving as their marriage counselor because their marriage starts to fall apart when they're in Berlin. Einstein is like starting to correspond with his cousin a little more. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
He's just like more distant, more detached. They fight more. And then Einstein ultimately offers her like this stay married with me, but here's how you act proposal, if you want to read that.
Here's a letter that Albert Einstein sent to his beloved wife in 1912 after he had probably had some intimate relations with his cousin. Just keep that in mind.
Just know
He's already
that.
talking. He's in his cousin's DMs, and he's like, you know what I got to do? I got to lose my wife. But I'm going to sell her a letter. I'm going to send her a letter that makes it so hard to stay married to me that she'll want to leave me. That's what I thought when I read this
That's
letter.
a good move. Be so mean they break up with you.
That's the only way I could.
That's not a
kind
good
of make
move. That's
sense.
just a
Yeah.
move.
I'll be such a dickhead they leave.
Yeah.
These are the conditions that he said. If you want to stay married to me, he basically was like, hey, you know how you're my wife? What if you were my maid?
What
He
if you
goes,
worked for me for no money or affection?
You will
I'm not even going to give you that dick.
Here's some of the yeah, dude, and you can't ask for it either.
No, dick
you also
for you.
can't. That was one of the
He
conditions.
was a dick Nazi.
I'm not gonna give you my dick, and you can't ask for the dick.
Yeah.
We both know where the dick is, but you can't have it.
No.
It's Voldemort now. You don't think about it. You don't talk about it. It never comes out unless it's trying to kill the chosen one. And we both know our kids are a little stupid, so it never needs to show his head around here. The chosen ones.
Chosen ones ain't at this house.
No, maybe they were glycerol. God bless her soul.
Yeah, she could have been chosen, but it was for death early on.
Yeah. So these are some of the conditions. 1, my clothes and linen are kept in order. 2, I'm served 3 regular meals a day in my room. You will renounce all personal relations with me, except when these are required to keep up social appearances, which, when's this guy at a... Does he even take her out anyway? There's no way he's taking her out.
Yeah.
Maybe when they go to, like, give...
No, when he went to conferences, she was kind of
I thought he did.
jealous and
yeah,
like...
he didn't bring her, right?
No, he's like, she was writing that he doesn't have a lot of time for his wife anymore. It's like they didn't spend time together. Like he went off to these academic things and she was left both kind of without company and excluded from an event that she would have liked to attend.
Yes.
Meeting all these physicists that she was interested in. That's the shitty part. It's like they were both comics, but only one of them could headline.
And then that one.
And then she didn't even get to open.
She didn't get to feature at all.
No.
And you're like, why? And he's like, what? And he's like, remember I helped you with your act?
He's like, I say it.
Yeah. And he's like, it's my act.
I'm out there. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm on the poster.
Yeah. Remember?
That was me. People love that shit.
But also, here's what you will expect: no affection from me. You must leave my bedroom or study at once without protesting. He basically is like,
is she
give
protesting
me food.
A lot?
She's a silent type. I don't think she's protesting, but I feel like, if anything, this is going to get you a little angry.
Yeah.
This is going to make even the most quiet lady say,
right.
you know.
If you're telling someone to shut the fuck up, she's going to be like, what did you say?
Yeah, excuse me?
She's going to have some words.
I can't talk and I can't suck or fuck that dick, Einstein. And I got to do your laundry. But then he got a little callous at the end. I don't know what happened. This is kind of lost in the I don't know what the meaning of this is, but he lays out the conditions, and then at the end he signs it by going, I'm ashamed for you that you let yourself be affected by Berlin. Go your own way. Let yourself be deceived. I really don't care. Read this slowly. It will do you good.
Wow.
Read it to your family as well. They have nothing else to do.
Oh my God!
Burned.
What are you rolling around in mud in Serbia?
Yeah, what's happening? Yeah,
How about you put this on and entertain those beasts
Why
for a
don't you
little
go
bit?
show the other
other
uneducated women
troglodytes,
what this is? These are letters on paper. These are mean letters on paper.
Yeah.
And then, so he sends this letter, and apparently she doesn't accept the terms, is what I'm talking about. But then he writes a letter to Elsa, the cousin, and goes, the last war has been fought. You will soon be my wife. He's like, he's crazy.
He wrote in a letter to his cousin Elsa Einstein that he marries that I no longer view my wife as a partner, but as an employee.
Yeah, and it's definitely, I mean, that's what this was.
That's fucking a job description right there.
He made you not only an employee, he made you a sweatshop worker.
He gave you like KPIs and shit, like 3 meals a day. You know, you have metrics you got to hit. And then then this guy that Wilhelm appointed, the director, Haber, he's like really trying to keep these two together, and it doesn't end up working out. So then like on the way, I don't know if this was a letter, if this was in person. I think this was in person. Einstein offered her a different deal, which is like, all right, I'll grant you a divorce if Einstein eventually ends up making her a deal that's like, look, give me a divorce and I'll give you the Nobel Prize money, assuming I win the Nobel Prize, which everybody knows I'm going to.
Yeah. A little Trumpy with it.
Yeah.
You know I'm going to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
Fucking, you think Bill's going to win it?
Yeah.
On his theory on shoes?
His plastic volcano?
Come on.
I don't think that's getting the
What
Nobel.
is a styrofoam globe?
I'm going to prove that gravity isn't what we thought it was. It's actually space curving.
Yeah.
What?
You know what this shit's going to do to me, babe? And also, while he was seeing, he started to see his cousin. They separate when they... I think Albert wanted the divorce. He was trying to rush it because people saw him and his cousin out in public, and they were like, "Aren't you married?"
Ew.
So I just feel like TMZ was like, "You'll never guess which modern day genius was caught making out with his cousin in the movie theaters."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Fuck." His agent's like, "Albert, talk to me. You see this? Spinning newspaper.
It's everywhere.
It's him spinning a newspaper. You see this?"
That's why his hair's so frizzy. He's just wrapped in scandal. He's constantly like, everyone knows I fucked my cousin.
Oh.
It wasn't even her name Elsa was Elsa Lowenthal, but that was just because she had married a different guy. So like Albert was her second husband. Yeah. So she's kind of like, it's a bait and switch. She's like, no, our kids are gonna be normal. My last name's Lowenthal.
Lowenthal. What was your last name before that? What?
So Elsa's father was Albert's dad's cousin, so second cousin, but Albert's mom was sisters with Elsa's mom, so first cousin, which also means that like their parents were fucking or something weird up there.
Yeah.
So it's all wrapped together in
That's
a weird
why the mom
snake's
is.
nest.
It's not because of the too smart of a limp. She's just not a part of the family already.
Yeah, so it's kind of gross that they're cousins.
He ended one of the letters by saying, tell aunt and uncle I say hello, meaning her mom and dad.
Yeah,
At least use their first names and don't reference it that quick.
Yeah.
Or that boldly.
Yeah.
Albert and Mileva eventually get divorced. I don't know if anybody saw that coming, but it didn't end well. He brought her white flowers. He brought both colors of flowers, and he gave her the white, and he said, look, I'm out of here.
You're going.
I'm going to go. Yeah, you got to go. I'm going to go be one of the most famous. It's kind of like a Michael Phelps effect, but obviously much bigger. Like in a field that nobody cared about, he was the most famous one. You didn't care about swimming before Michael Phelps.
No, you didn't care about physics until Einstein. Yeah. That's a good point.
And then he was like, I'm about to go make history. I'm going to have to leave you. And this was 1916. He was like, we should get a divorce. But then shortly after he proposed this, Mileva had a serious mental breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then she also suffered from a heart condition. Albert learned of this, sent a letter to the friend, and was like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry that she's having a bad time. I'll back off the divorce.
This was all while she's in Zurich?
She's back in Zurich. They're in Berlin. He's still tying the family knot together, giving it to old Elsa.
He's chumming it up. Yeah, he's looking for solar eclipses, which we talk about in the Patreon in a search for the general theory for relativity. But continue, Charles. It's a little ad for the Patreon.
A little Patreon, a little behind the paywall, okay?
Yeah.
The hunt for the eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
The rise of Einstein.
Yes. Check it.
So he's like, all right, you're down and out. I'm going to go over here and be a cool, kind of like this like Tomb Raider mixed with 007 badass Splinter Cell guy.
Einstein?
Yeah, he's like
in what way?
Going hunting down eclipses, coming up with theories.
I mean, he doesn't have to sneak up on them.
I know, but it's still like it seems like he's on a.
I mean, his biggest enemy was clouds. So I don't know how much of it.
His head was always in him.
I don't know how much of it. Well, they ended up biting him in the ass. He didn't even go on some of these expeditions. Let's save it for the Patreon.
Fuck. All right. Anyway, so he goes back to Germany. He's having a good time. He's having relations with his cousin, Elsa.
And other women.
Other women.
And when he met his cousin, he apparently Elsa's daughters from her first marriage, like he did also consider ditching the proposal to Elsa and instead proposing to Elsa's daughter, Elise or something, who's like 20.
Dude, this guy's watching too much porn. I'm going to say it right now.
Yeah.
He's getting sucked into the script.
Yep.
That's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, long walks. Okay.
Also, she had kids from the first marriage because the dad died. Not cool, bro.
Not cool.
Don't
Not
fuck
cool.
your cousins.
She's
your widowed cousin.
She's your Eskimo daughter-in-law, dude.
Yeah, come on. Well, she would be. She probably was. They probably had a couple of things to talk about one night, and he was like,
"Have your mother teach you on me."
Yeah, and so. Then he, in 1919, he writes or 1918, I think. One of the, he writes a letter that's
the old 19s or 18s.
One of the, they're still legal is all that counts. That's all he cared about.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter, blood or water or cum, as long as they're old enough. I don't care what it is.
What?
I'm trying to talk about the women that he went for. His only rule was age of consent.
You're trying to say blood is thicker than cum.
Blood's thicker than cum. I wrote it down. I said it on the phone, but I couldn't fit it in here.
It's okay.
But 1919, he finally is like, he sends another letter to Mileva, and he's like, look, I've been meaning to get to something, and it's I've been fucking. I've been having a good time, and I can't get a house with Elsa because your name's still technically tied to mine.
Yeah.
And I really want to be with her, so we need to get divorced.
Can we make like a paper and just remove your name from mine?
Yeah, that'd be cool. And you shut up for the rest of your life.
Uh-huh.
So he goes, here's the rules. You are going to ask for the divorce so the public doesn't pity you more, because the public already was kind of pitying her because they were like, Einstein's been with his cousin for a few years now, and Mileva's...
So he's kind of like orchestrating a little PR campaign?
Yes. He's being like you have to ask for the divorce so his reputation doesn't go down more.
What a loser.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't try to manage the breakup.
Control freak.
Yikes.
Because he goes, I don't want the public, spitting on my image here.
Yeah.
You got to ask for the divorce because the public already doesn't like me that much, and they know I'm fucking my cousin and you're over there in Zurich with a schizophrenic son having palpitations. Palpitations, okay? Salutations, palpitations. And he goes, if you ask for the divorce, I'll pay you 9,000 marks a month or however often, and I'll give you the money off my Nobel Peace Prize when I do win it, because your boy's gonna win it.
Yeah, your boy's got a big old brain.
Come on, we know. I'm a grower and a shower.
Yep.
Look at this brain.
Huge
brain. Yeah, and then he goes, if you don't ask for the divorce, we're still going to get a divorce, and I will only pay you 6,000 marks, no Nobel Peace Prize money, and I'll pay you 6,000 marks, meaning I probably won't.
Mm-hmm.
So then Mileva asks for the divorce. They go to court. Albie swears under oath. Throughout the court, he goes, yes, I committed adultery with my cousin. I've been living with her the past 4 years.
Wow.
And Mileva has known this for the past 4 years.
So what a slut that girl is,
yeah,
huh?
what a
Letting me get away with this? Who's the
come
real
on.
villain?
I wonder if Mileva...
She should have been keeping me in line.
Come on. Yeah,
Keep
we're
me in
gonna
check.
iron my clothes.
Yeah.
I told her, if you want
I
to
run
stay
away,
married...
you got to herd me back.
Yeah.
That's the relationship.
Do you think, I feel like Mileva maybe had a moment. Do you think when she first found out that he was seeing his cousin, did she have like a flashback to like a family reunion where he was like staring at her a little bit too long? And he's like, babe, are you giving your cousin the eyes?
I'm
and
just
he's like,
looking
shut
at
up.
the sauerkraut.
Don't be crazy. You know I'd never look at my cousin like that. She probably had a little epiphany. I was right about your cousin just like I was right about the theory of relativity.
Yeah. Maleva's like, I knew it.
He goes ahead and pulls an usher. These are my confessions in court.
Uh-huh.
These are my confessions. I'm sleeping with my cousin. I really, really love her. I tried to fuck her daughter. And so they get a divorce. And then it's not until 3 years later that Mileva really sees any money, because then, if you want to take off the Nobel Prize stuff, he does win the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, yeah, he wins the prize for physics. I don't think it's for peace.
Oh, sorry.
You know,
I always say that when just the Nobel Prize.
Nobel Prize in physics, and you get the modern day
He
equivalent.
also won peace.
Yeah.
Listen, did a great job at keeping outside of his own marriage.
He was a
kept
pacifist.
a lot of peace.
When he was 15, Einstein was a draft dodger, and then later on he would go on to hate his colleagues for developing like war weapons, basically. So he was like kind of an outsider later in life when World War I popped off.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this is during this time. He's like very isolated. We're talking 1919, 1922. He signed this like manifesto countering a manifesto that like a ton of scientists had signed that were pro-war. He's like, I'm going to get a counter peace manifesto.
Nice.
4 people signed it.
Wow.
4 scientists.
The kids that were all in his high school class or his college class.
Yeah, I
Guys.
guess. Versus like 100 of his like colleagues. So he was really on the outside. So he was a pacifist, but he did win the Nobel Prize, actually, not even for his general theory of relativity, which he had proven by then with the help of astronomers. He won it for the photoelectric effect,
The light
which is
one.
still pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
So he won the modern day equivalent of about $212,000 and didn't end up paying her all that. Initially wanted to give it to the sons. In 1925, Albert wrote in his will that the Nobel Prize money was his son's inheritance. Mileva strongly objected, stating the money was hers. They signed a deal, what the fuck. And considered revealing her contributions to his work. Einstein, in response to this in a letter, it's so cool we have all these letters, wrote, "You made me laugh when you started threatening me with your recollections. Have you ever considered, even just for a second, that nobody would ever pay attention to your says if the man you talked about hadn't accomplished something important? When someone is completely insignificant, there's nothing else to say to this person but to remain modest and silent. This is what I advise you to do." So Einstein's
Brutal.
like, shut your trap,
Yeah.
you Serbian
Listen
bitch.
here, Toots.
Yeah.
You can get changed when you walk to me from Zurich, huh? You'll die before then. But also, what does this mean? So he won it in 22. Didn't she get the money in 22? And
I think they were having disputes about where the money was going to go and like how it was going to be used. Because like Einstein, there's like this cult of Einstein that you have to kind of penetrate in order to get some of this information. Like some of the historians kind of gloss over it. But yeah, I don't think he gave her all the Nobel Prize money.
Yeah.
I think he gave her a piece of it, and I still think he was like a little shisty with how it was going to be divided up between her and her
classic
sons.
Jew.
Which is why we don't like Einstein.
Scheinstein.
Ein wine. But this had been going on for a while. I mean, think about the beginning of this whole like unraveling of their relationship in 1914 when he's like, do my laundry, suck my toes,
Yeah. You really think he's going to give up all
rub
the
my back,
money?
and stop when I tell you and leave
Yeah,
immediately.
don't touch my dick. That's for my cousin.
8 years later, finally he wins the Nobel Prize, and then 3 more years later, they're still like debating how the money's going to be used. So it's a nightmare. She like thinks that he ruined her life. Her friends wanted her to like reveal her contributions to special relativity, which first of all, no one would have believed her.
No, they would have been like, burn this.
Yeah.
What's it called when you cheat?
Adulterer.
No. I mean on a paper.
Oh, a plagiarist.
Yeah.
Burn this plagiarist. Yeah, maybe.
No,
Or
I don't think it would have even came even close to being a story.
no.
It would have even broke like the local news. I don't think a woman just talking, I helped with that. They'd be like, shut up.
It would have been wild, though, if she blew up his spot on Special Relativity.
It'd be awesome. I really wish it would have happened.
That's like if Grimes came out and was like, actually, I did SpaceX.
Yeah. Tesla, that's Grimes backwards.
I designed the thrusters.
Yeah.
I did Cybertruck.
You think it looked like a dick was his idea?
Yeah. No. I have a prototype in my room. I use it myself.
And that thing's always lands. It never explodes at the end. Elon.
But Einstein, like a lot of greats, was posthumously canceled. So like that's a good way to go down.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go down, that's the way to do it. You don't want to you don't want to go down, but that's the way to do it.
Yeah, if you're gonna go down, you may as well be dead.
Well, we all know he's a dick now, but he doesn't care.
No,
because like all these letters that we learned about were the contributions of Elsa's daughter Margot, who Elsa was cheated on. So Margot's like, fuck this guy. I'm gonna publish 1,400 letters.
Yeah.
But that wasn't only until Margot died, and then 20 years after her death, 2006, that's when the letters were published. So people didn't know. There was a bit. That's how much of a dick this guy was. She's like, I want to keep this on the. I want my bones to be starting to disintegrate by the time you open these letters.
Yeah.
And then Mileva's son's wife, so Mileva's daughter-in-law, Frida, also had letters that she wanted to publish between Mileva and her sons that kind of detailed her contributions. But the Einstein estate executors, basically the lawyers in charge of divvying up Einstein's estate, blocked that in court to preserve the myth of Einstein.
So gross.
It's like they're treating the public like they're just such stupid people, and they need like a figure to rally around.
We need Einstein to be Einstein.
He was right. Don't take his cape off.
Yeah, come on. It's Albert Einstein, my hero.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. At least now, nobody
No, they
cares.
did, though.
I know. A lot of people. He was the face.
He was the Michael Phelps. You're right. No one cares about physics.
He was more than Michael Phelps. I think he was like the Michael Jackson of science. I mean, he was.
He captured the imagination.
He was the king.
He was the king.
He was.
He has this. I mean, the theory's nuts about how gravity isn't gravity. Gravity doesn't pull. It's actually space pushing, which we'll get into in the Patreon.
The bowling ball and the trampoline.
The bowling ball and the trampoline. Yeah, I wrote it down. We're going to talk about it. But she never went Amber Heard on him. She never like waged a campaign to try to discredit him, which. I don't know whether to applaud that or.
I just don't think she had.
It was her choice, She do whatever you want. She never Me Too'd him in terms of his like being a dick.
I know.
I feel like if Einstein, like if somebody, if Melinda came out later and was like, I did Vista, and also, he cheated on me a bunch, and he's not giving me the money that I deserve, people would be.
People are waiting to cancel Bill Gates. I don't know.
Everyone's
they think that
in
kid
line.
Drinks baby blood.
Yeah, that's true.
He invented Corona and has a lab in
line
Antarctica where
Bill
he's
Gates'
killing
house.
kids and drinking their blood.
Right.
People nowadays, that's because back then this is kind of the culmination of Me Too, was all these women's voices throughout history never being heard. So back then, I think
it's like a volcano bubbling up and then finally it explodes.
Finally being like.
But in the base, what's the one in the ground? Is it magma or lava? I think it's magma.
Magma's in the ground.
Magma. You got all this magma. You got Einstein. You got
Harvey Einstein.
Harvey Einstein. So you got all these dudes just doing what they want.
This is what we've learned from researching all these historical heroes. If you want to be great, you got to cheat.
Yeah, it seems to be the secret.
It seems to be the only thing that they're
doing. If you want to be really
different.
great, you got to cheat and you got to get some kids in the mix.
And then leave them alone.
So Mileva, their kid Edward, they had two kids, Hans Albert and Edward. And Edward was a little Ed weird. He was a little Ed dead in the head. Dead-headed Ed. He was fine until like he turned like late 20s, which I guess is when schizophrenia or like these mental illnesses kind of culminate in people.
It sucks.
It does suck. I mean, I think we kind of dodged the bullet. Like, I don't think we're in danger.
Oh, it is. I think so. I'm just about to be safe.
Yeah, from schizophrenia.
Yeah.
But this guy, Einstein actually viewed Edward as closer to his brain than his other son.
Really?
Hans Albert. Yeah, because he was like a weirdo, but he was also like really smart. He was into poetry and art. Okay. And loved like Sigmund Freud and wanted to become a psychiatrist and all this stuff.
And I think Hans didn't like Albert that much. I don't know if he truly...
Hans gave him some credit that he did take time away from work to play with them. We shouldn't totally demonize Albert in terms of the guy. I mean, we've said all the bad stuff.
I know they went on hikes and he like taught him geometry and stuff like that.
Like through letters, I think. But even kept up correspondence for a lot of Edward's life. Just like even though he was in a mental hospital, he was still writing to him, I think.
Oh, I heard he didn't talk to him for the last 30 years of his life.
Oh, maybe it was just before the mental hospital.
Yeah.
And then he just wanted to cut the ties.
And then I think he pulled a Kennedy.
Albert cutting the ties Einstein. Yeah, you just leave him to rot.
Is he mentally ill?
Yeah.
I'll never see him again.
Yeah, time to move that to deleted items. Never look at that again.
Yeah, fun put that thing in recently deleted and delete that.
Permanently delete, archive that boy.
Want to go ahead and format that SB card because that brain is
That
full of
Sunboy
shit.
card, yeah. Well, they treated him, and we know what happens when you go to mental institutions. You get shocked and ice picked to brain death.
Yeah, to heal, you get healed. You mean?
You get healed. They neutralize
Yeah.
you. They neutralize the threat. Oh, look, he doesn't have any fits anymore. There's nothing in there.
A house with no lights won't turn on.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then so Mileva's left to pay all these medical bills. And she invests the money that she eventually does get in apartments that kind of go belly up.
There was
Bad
some,
investment.
I wonder if a bubble burst.
Could have been
They
a
went through
bubble.
a recession.
In the
Well, I
Serbian,
mean,
in the Swiss
The
apartment
Swiss bubble
market.
burst.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a buyer's or a seller's market in the 1920s in Switzerland, but I don't know if she was a savvy investor. I'm really not sure, but it
can't
just didn't
imagine.
go well.
Yeah, it didn't.
So she ended up having to teach. She was like scrimping by. I mean, her life was really ruined by Einstein because she was saddled with these kids, and then he didn't really pay her proper alimony or child support or like the medical bills. He like covered some of them, but not all of them. So she's really left to her own devices, and that's why her family was like really pressing her to be like, let's
take this guy down.
take him down, dude.
Yeah, let's put the tongue back in his mouth.
And she was like, I don't want to.
It's wild, yeah. Knowing, you think your mom would do that? You think your mom would have tried to take him down? Because my mom would have gone.
Your mom would have
My
gone.
mom's still trying to take my dad down.
yeah. I don't know. I don't really know what my mom would have done. We haven't been confronted with something like that. Oh, I think this is kind of a point I had. This kind of just brings it to current day. It kind of applies this to the times we're living in. The restraint to not ruin someone's life, even if you have a good reason to, is not there anymore in people. Because you can make a life, you can kind of launch yourself, you can jettison yourself, slingshot yourself off of canceling somebody.
Yes.
You know, that's kind of a credit in and of itself.
Yeah, like the person. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
But I don't think that slingshot ability was available until recently.
Yes, I agree.
I don't think that power-up was acquired by women or anyone in a marginalized group until a few years ago.
So she's like, what's the point? What's to be gained?
We see it from our modern lens of like, fucking blow up this dude's
Bring his
spot
ass
and then
down.
become
Yeah.
a physicist. You can do it. You're smart. Steal his theories and fuck this guy.
Let's go, Hannibal.
But she's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Nobody likes women. I mean, it was hard enough for him to get in.
It was very
Just
hard
as
for
like an
him. Yeah,
outsider who
you're
was
right.
like, you think they're going to let a lady in? My dad had to call the minister just to let me sit in a lecture.
Yeah.
It's not good out here. It's tough. It's tough sledding.
Yeah,
One of
there's
my
no
favorite
point.
phrases.
She was really just kind of faced with.
So I do feel, I don't know, I feel like a lot of women in this period of time, like 1800s, 1900s, are sometimes characterized as like brooding and despondent. But I think that's probably because they're just smart and like they have their eyes open.
Mhm.
They're like, there's a limited height that I can go to. Oh, she's kind of a cute old lady. Not like attractive, but that's her as an old lady, right?
Mhm.
She's like a cute grandma, you know?
Yeah.
She seems
She
nice.
looks like SpongeBob's
She looks
grandma.
nice. All right. If you go look up Mileva, I'll put it in the video. She does look like SpongeBob's grandma. But she does look like a Tarzan character in her younger pictures.
Yeah, she does.
But kind of like a one that you might have a crush on and be
Yeah,
confused
yeah,
about
yeah.
why.
Yeah.
You know? You're like, what does this mean? Mine animals. This one's really hot though. So what does that mean? Yeah, but I think women like I think in a lot of Jane Austen novels, there's always one woman who's just so sad and moping around the house, or like even in Downton Abbey, there's one who's just like a mopey woman is like her whole thing. I think that's the older one who's like not getting married, but that's just because like women can only go so high, and they're like, yeah, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
This is kind of annoying that I just have to take a second seat to my husband and propel him up.
Mm-hmm.
She slingshot him with her time and support,
Used
and
everything.
effort.
Gave it all.
Yeah.
Eminem said you only had one shot, and she used it on him.
Yeah,
That's
now
what
she's
it
got
was.
spaghetti all over that sweater.
Dude, everywhere. From the
Vomit.
sun throwing it at her.
Yeah,
Edward.
Yeah, well, he thought he heard a demon right behind her,
Yeah.
so he was trying to hit the demon with that spaghetti.
And then if you look at the picture of her, and I mean, Elsa is just, I know we said it, but
I mean, that's a Susan Boyle, and that's a good picture of her.
yeah. Why is he always just, this guy never smiles?
He smiles.
Eh.
Not when he's next to his wife.
Yeah, for real.
He did say Einstein on his deathbed that he's like, I feel pretty fortunate. I survived the Nazis and 2 wives.
Yeah. I know. I was like, geez.
What a fucking bro. He's a guy's guy. I mean, he was pretty funny, apparently. In a room full of white guys and him,
Yeah.
I imagine he's killing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Einstein
You
is
think he's
killing. Yes, people thought he was very funny and very smart.
Okay.
We'll talk about that more in the
Let's see
in
if
the
we can find
Patreon.
okay, well, yeah.
But yeah, so ultimately Mileva had to abandon her own aspirations, just be happy to work with him and contribute to his success, feeling like they're one entity, which might have worked out. That might have been a happy life if he had actually stuck with monogamy and her.
Oh, for sure. They would have been, I think they would have been.
They could have been a cool power
and
couple.
They could have continued to get more things. Well, I mean, I think they would have got more things done.
Yeah.
I mean, he did continue to work with very smart
But she never like reached out and tried to grab any of that juicy physics success that she could have had by taking her ex-husband down.
Yeah, you're right. She never even attempted it. Which
no, even his family attempt. She kind of shut him down.
You're
wanted the letters destroyed.
Yeah, she wrote about it to her family and was like, "Look, this is exactly what I contributed. Make sure you burn this."
Well, she also said Einstein ruined her life.
Yeah,
and all these other libelous things about him. She's like, "Don't let this get out." They're going to be auctioning off these letters in 100 years. I just know it.
There's going to be a big family feud.
Christie's, they're going to bring the hammer down, and some guy in an Israel museum is going to be looking at my letters to my husband. Yeah, she was a pretty private person, I guess. But
yeah, so then
I do feel bad for her.
Yeah, I mean, well, especially because she lived in poverty, and then at the age of 72, she had a severe stroke.
She started wealthy, too. It's just a downhill spiral.
Did the family never help out?
I mean, to a point, maybe, but then you're kind of on your own. You're under your husband's care, I think.
But then when they get a divorce,
that's true.
Is there any family money?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I guess not.
Well, that was Mileva.
Yeah, that was Mileva.
That was Mileva. It's pretty brutal life.
Pretty brutal.
But she is a cute old lady who could maybe make SpongeBob some nice cookies.
Definitely. Yeah, she probably has the same
So that's
skin.
kind of nice.
So all in all, what do you think about Mileva? Do you think Einstein would have gotten as much done in his early strides as a physicist?
No. I think she was a big emotional support. I think she was a key player in his being able to advance himself as quickly as he was.
Yeah,
I think she was a big part of his success early on.
Mm-hmm,
like his ability to just like stay focused, keep grinding.
Yeah.
Because she was in the background helping him out. His first 8 pages of his lecture at the university was written in her handwriting.
This is kind of like the Wright brothers' sister. Like she stepped it up. She was like, "Look, I'll learn other languages and I'll help you guys out."
But she never got Catherine's like longevity because Catherine was there from the beginning and all the way up until the end.
But they still shit on her at the end.
Well, he didn't want her to get married.
Yeah,
because of the weird pact. But Mileva never got to ride that out. She got in early and like helped him on the ground floor and then never got to cash in on that IPO.
Yeah, she saw like Kanye West the dropout and then didn't see him, get all the way up to what's the one with Jay-Z? I don't know. Yeah, the first album drop is really what she saw.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, this guy's pretty good.
Like the first EP.
Yeah.
Well, the album before it like took off, because they released it when they were still together. Mm-hmm. But which is the Miracle Year. Brownie in Motion also. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Brownie in
Motion.
I took a Brownie in Motion earlier. Not good. Seeing stars. They were bending around the sun. I think that's going to do it for Mileva. I don't know. We seem to both agree that she was pretty helpful. And regardless of whether she was, the point is that she sacrificed a lot of her life to, bolster up Einstein. And then he kind of fucked her over.
Big time.
But
broke her heart.
But I hope you feel brought into the light, Mileva.
Thanks for everything you did, everything you contributed. Maybe you were the one who thought of most of the theory of relative motion. Whatever you did, thank you so much. We're giving you credit now.
We're writing her a letter. We're writing her a thank you note for physics. Keep it going for Mileva, everybody.
All right, give it up for Mileva Marić, everybody.
That was the ep. Mileva, hope you feel brought into the light. You toiled in the shadows, and I hope you feel like a little bit of light's peeking out from that eclipse and illuminating you as a figure in history. Who was there?
She was there.
Who was there? Rooting, giving him orange slices.
Yeah, she.
Refueling him.
Yep.
Talking over candlelight.
I feel like coming up with theories on her own.
She's licking equations all over his body.
Yeah.
Right. That's how I learn kinesthetic. He's having eureka moments. He's having epiphanies as she's like pegging him. This is how they worked.
Deeper. I'm almost there.
Eureka. The bus is almost at light speed. Yeah. So Mileva, you did a hell of a job, and I don't think you get enough credit. And I'm so sorry about your life.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry
tough.
too. I'm glad you did what you did, and you changed history forever. And I hope that more letters come out about you and that you were the one who thought of M equals MC squared. Because you know what? Einstein has had his time.
Yeah.
He's had his time, Stein.
She did the little two.
What?
No one can take that away.
Yeah, come on.
She did the little
You need the little two.
Little two up top. Without the little two, it's just a It's not a formula at
Mick.
all. It's Mick.
What's that good for besides Donald's?
Nothing. All right, now we're going to get to the Patreon, folks. So if you want to go learn about Einstein, it's actually really fascinating how he how he had to chase all these solar eclipses to finally prove the general theory of relativity. A world war starts, and kind of some of his scientists get captured by Russians. It's pretty interesting. So we're going to talk about it. We might take a quick break and maybe get a little bite, a pee, something, and we'll be back with the Patreon. But thank you guys for listening. Follow us on Instagram, Zach Russell Comedy.
Charles_Ingle on all platforms, and
Overshadowed_podcast on Instagram.
make sure you follow us on TikTok, Instagram. We got YouTube's up, baby. Gives us some thumbs up.
We've gotten some subscribers. We're up to like 44.
Thank you so much for all the
on YouTube.
women who have just followed us on TikTok.
Yeah,
everybody, not
seriously.
just women, for real. It's been awesome to have something.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
Get a little bit of heat and stay hot.
Some
for a week.
momentum. We're just trying to stay hot. We're
We're trying to get our bills paid, so please play.
yeah, we're just trying to get a TV, each of us, for every room in our house. So put money towards that, and we'll see you guys on the Patreon.